Take two. I'd like to talk to you today about lights. The various different types of lights. I don't profess to be knowledgeable on terms and terminologies. I know of some lights. I know of what some lights do. I know what some lights are called. You got the fluorescent lights, which are usually what you find in schools overhead, and they tend to give you a headache when you look at them. There are the typical LED lights. They usually save energy. They're probably not as bright, and they come in like the white light or a yellow light. They usually color the glass to give it off a different type of light sometimes. And then you have things that they've been putting in cars lately, which, from my recent understanding, are called halogen lights. You might notice them if you see an older car, you got the typical yellow light illumination. But then you have the newer car from the 2010s, later 2010s, that have a much brighter white light. And especially for like cars, SUVs, and things of that nature, the bigger cars, they tend to have the lights higher up, and they're staring straight ahead. They're staring straight ahead. They're not, like, angled downwards to the ground to just illuminate the road in front of you. No, they angle it straight ahead to illuminate everything. But there is a risk that I'd like to talk to you about. There is a risk using that type of light and in that type of angle. And that risk is that not only is it beneficial to you to look ahead to see things, but it is a risk and a detriment to the onlooker, because then when you have this type of angle, you're coming this way and they're coming this way, your lights are staring straight ahead, they're looking at that light, especially in the dead of night when there's not too many of the lights around. Your light is like a beacon that it naturally draws their attention as they're driving. And if it's particularly bright, or they have light sensitivity, like I do, it's not medically diagnosed or anything like that, it's just light sensitivity, you're sensitive to certain lights and things of that nature. I've never done any research into that, but for the focus of this argument here, let's say you have light sensitivity, and this person's using those halogen super bright white lights that have been used in recent cars of that nature. You're coming down, and they're coming down, and you see that super bright light right here. You see that, and for that brief moment, you're like blinded. You're blinded, and you are struggling to stay straight because as they pass. And when you're blinking, you see those after image effects, the little flash in your irises when you close your eyes, when you see a bright light sometimes, that flash effect. That you would usually stay with me when I see those super bright halogen white lights when I drive by. And that's been a detriment to me at nighttime driving. It's why I can't wear my regular prescription glasses, these little puppies here. It's why I can't wear those at night. I have to wear sunglasses at night. Sometimes these little puppies right here, I have to wear those at night because I have to deaden the light somehow because it's just too bright to me. Those halogen super white lights staring right at you because they have to be made to look straight ahead instead of angled downwards. It's like my car is from 2001. It's pretty old in terms of cars, but my regular lights are yellow, and they're just fine. I could stand in front of the car at night, and it wouldn't bother me. But if I turned my brights on, the illumination of my car's brights are basically on the same level as these regular lights are being made now for the newer cars, that are these super white lights. It's like the highlights, the brights that you use usually when you're supposed to be in, like, alone in, like, super dark roads, country roads, where there's no lights around and there's no other people around because it's a danger to those people because the lights are very bright. It's as if they took those lights and made them the regular headlights now. At least to me, that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm looking at those types of brights on regular city streets, and I'd like to say that that's a risk in this rant files. In these rant files, I'd like to say that that is a risk. You'd notice that I said take two earlier. I had a previous video, but I kept calling the car headlights fluorescent bulbs, which was probably most likely an error. I had to look those up, and they're usually like these little halogen vapor type of bulbs. I don't profess to know how light bulbs are made. I don't profess to know all that stuff. I could easily look it up. I could easily take a couple hours to look it up, but I didn't. So yeah, they get the super bright light halogen bulbs, and they're very bright. For light sensitivity, nighttime driving, those are a risk. Especially when they're like right behind you. When they're right behind you, those lights are coming in through your rear view mirror, directing right back at you. That can also be a detriment, because that bright light is also having interference in your vision to look at the road in front of you. And that's just a no-no. This is why I think we should go back to using the yellow lights. They're not as bright, but that's why we have the brights. We put the brights on when we're alone and we can't see. Like when we're going in our neighborhoods at night, and that we don't have too many headlights around, and there's nobody out at night, so we turn on our brights to be able to see. But when we're out on a regular city road, and there's plenty of lights from the other cars' headlights, and from other city buildings, so they have their own little street lights and things of that nature, we don't need these super bright white headlights. We just need the regular yellow ones. They may not be as bright, but they get the job done, and they don't mess with people with light sensitivity like I do. Just a thought. Oh, and for the final minute or two here of this video, just to remember, it has come to my attention that the YouTuber Plagued Moth, congratulations on 100,000 subscribers. I expect to see 200,000 by the end of the year. I know we will get that. Has given me a shout out of some sort in one of his recent videos, and that might be the reason why I noticed an almost double of my subscriber count yesterday. And I just want to say thank you, both the Plagued Moth and to every single one of you who decided to take his advice and subscribe to this channel. I am completely humbled. I am completely humbled, and I just want to say thank you to each and every single one of you. I don't even have 100 subscribers, and I don't even care. I'm just thankful for every single one of you. Remember, be imaginative.